Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yessik here again today to bring you a marathon recording of Castle Story Prototype. And I am starting again just because I thought I'd show you through all the trials and tribulations I have faced trying to play Castle Story in the prototype version. So I'm going to start a new game here, and the game almost already froze. And instead of sort of skipping steps and appearing in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to show you my entire process, my entire thought process. So generally I like to start over here because there's this nice big open space, and what I will do is immediately go into the debug mode. So activate debug mode, and then switch to construction or something else. I'm also using a different mic in the hopes that having it slightly further away from my face will decrease the amount you can hear my breathing, because heavy breathing is a bad habit that I do have, so I thought I'd try to fix that somehow. So then you want to bring this up to the level of your Bricktrons, and not much further, because then it will start erasing trees. So possibly right here seems like a good place. Still plenty of trees for us to cut. Now there's another thing I learned about using this tool, and that is that if you use it, and just a second, allow me to adjust it and finish this before I finish my thought, because I don't seem to be able to talk while I do this. Okay, after you're done making this huge platform, you actually have to click at least once with this tool, Generate Bottom, because if you walk on this, the entire island will crumble, and if it crumbles, it will lag out your game because so many particles disappear at once, or appear at once, you know, dirt particles. So click the Generate Bottom button, and unfortunately I can't show you a before and after now, but if I were to adjust the view, you can see that it has a nice bottom. It's all dirt, unfortunately. There's no mineable minerals, no rock or diamonds in here. So if you want to not cheat to spawn Bricktrons, you're in trouble. Another thing I like to do, but is not absolutely necessary, is build a bit of a wall right behind these trees so that you don't lose any of them. Because half these resources will end up falling off cliffs, and it's just no fun. So here's a nice little wall, nothing will fall down the cliff, and the Bricktrons can happily mine trees all they want. Okay, the next step is to leave debug mode. I feel like I'm all nasally today, I might have a bit of a cold coming on. Leave debug mode, change to something else. Usually construction does best here because you can select and then deselect the most easily. Okay, so then you want to individually command Bricktrons to start cutting down trees. And you want to do a lot of this at once, because if you do, even if you have a mining group, the lumberjack, the bûcheron group, you don't have a good word for lumberjack in English, lumberjacking. Like, I'm not sure what I would call that. But the group of lumberjacks only can mine specific trees, and I use the word mine very lightly here. So it takes them a very long time to get any resources gathered, so if you just sort of manually cut down all the trees, it goes very fast. So that's what I'm doing right here. Right now, right here, at this moment in time. Just making sure I have lots of logs, because I'm going to start out this time by building the skeleton for my castle. So my castle will be all nice and symmetrical. Now I'm going to leave one section of the skeleton open, like non-existent, just so I can build like a major staircase. But you'll see as I get that done. But first I need lots of wood in order to properly build this skeleton, because it's going to have support, planks, some stairs leading up to it. I guess I do need a bit of stone. But all I need to do is start by stacking up those pillars that are 4 tall. And that should... I'm going to cut like this whole group of trees right in here before I start doing anything else, just so I have lots of material to work with just right off the bat. Then if you want people to gather the trees without mining them, so after you've cut them all and you want them to be in a resource pile, all you do is you select a few of these guys, a few of your Bricktrons, and you put them into the forestry group. And then they will automatically transport all the trees that are already cut into stockpiles. So let's get this guy into mining. I found that if you just click a couple people, or not into mining, into building, and left click on the construction button, they will go into the construction group. So let's get these guys to build quite a few stockpiles, and let's build them all like right here. I'm gonna have my mine here-ish because it's quite deep and there's already a good bottom, lots of rock. Oh, I forgot to turn off my day-night cycle. Okay, so it's gonna be constantly dusk. I hope you guys don't mind that. I might actually take a bit of a break from the recording. I was gonna record the entire marathon section, but maybe not now, because I would prefer it to be like total daylight. There should be an option in this game in the future to just permanently have the day-night cycle off, because I find that the night is really annoying. Like, you just can't see as well, you can't tell if your Brictrons are doing the right amount of work. Now that I have some stockpiles built, I may as well assign some of the remaining Brictrons, who are all right there, into the forestry group, and they'll start delivering all the wood to the stockpiles. So, you might think I'm cheating here, but I like to have a big open space to build my castle, and they really don't provide one, like even one that I can even out myself, or the tools to even out the land in this prototype. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to even out the land on your own. Now, so right now I'm just going to be sitting back for a while and relaxing, watching these guys deliver all their things, slurping back my coffee. I made the slurping sound specifically for you guys, just to make sure you could actually hear that. While I'm here, I might as well answer a question for you guys. The question being, and a question that I'm sure Let's Players get a lot, but I've yet to get. Do you guys just sit there in your underwear and play video games all day? And I have to say, yeah, that's exactly what I do. Right now my underwear is like a silky fabric with, it's red with black hearts on it. So just in case all of you wanted to know that, I am here sitting in my underwear playing hours and hours of Castle Story in a row. Now I should be working, but unfortunately I work outside and it is cold as hell. I'm in Canada and I think it's like -25 today and windy. It's just awful. 25 degrees Celsius, I'm not sure what that comes to in Fahrenheit. I know that the negatives cross over at about 35 degrees, negative 35 degrees. So, if that means anything to you. So now I have these two builders, I might as well start construction on my skeleton. So like I said, to get the skeleton to function properly, you need to have, let's see, one, then in between one, okay, then two spaces this way, so 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 spaces in between. Then you can build on top of those, there you go. So then you just follow this pattern throughout and you'll have a proper skeleton for your castle. I have to leave one empty space for there to be a staircase. And the staircase I'm planning on putting over on the left side, or possibly in the center. But the left side might be best since I need to get up to the top to actually start building these. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to build this, but I'll manage. I will manage somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a general idea in my head. Let's put it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if anyone has any suggestions on what I should do in the future, what videos I should make, what I should try to build, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm always happy when I hear from commenters. At this point, I can respond to all of them. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, though, because I've received like 50 subs in the last 5 days, which is a record for me. And I might not be able to respond to comments if they start flooding in completely. Just a second. 1, 2, there we go. My talking's a bit weird right now because I'm being focused. Usually when I'm talking, I'm focused on talking. 1, 2, there we go. So basically you want to build this skeleton as the inside structure of your castle. And oops. plenty of good reasons that you want to do this, which I'll bring up in the future. It's the only real way to get a floor, and that's very important, of course. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually build stone on floor, so the wall becomes a bit tricky after a while, but I'll see how that turns out. I think I can manage. At least I can build a big box with this. 1, 2... Let's just count this way. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Okay. That should be good. Now, I'm going to want the stairs on the left side, I've just decided, so I'm going to go ahead and 1, 2... 1, 2... 1, 2... and 1, 2... There we go. So the stairs are going to be over here on the exterior. Then I'm just going to have to build the rest of these. So this is how I almost always start out my game. I like to have tons of stockpiles just because I hate running out of resources. I realize I'm a bit excessive, and I think I've gotten comments on my last 3 videos which are like, "You've cut so much wood," or "the stockpiles, they're everywhere," or any of that. So I understand I have a lot of stockpiles. I don't know why, I just like having lots of stockpiles. When I play StarCraft, I play like mad macro. I play Protoss, and usually by the time I have an attack, I have +3 upgrade, or I have +3 upgrades, armor and weapons, and sometimes I'm even started on shields. I've been known to occasionally have 4, what is it? 3 forges running at the same time, which is kind of ridiculous if anyone's a StarCraft fan here. They can tell you that. So now I think I can finally start a mine. I might actually have to cut more trees eventually. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to unassign all of these guys from the lumber group. Unfortunately, they can't seem to get all those logs that I have put back there. So you know what? I'm going to enter debug mode again. The other thing with debug mode is you can spawn some trees close to your camp. But this time I'm just going to go to level terrain, smooth terrain, and I'm going to make it a tiny bit bigger because smoothing 1 block doesn't even make sense. And I'm going to put a little path there. Now all my lumberjacks have a path and they'll continue on with their work. Now I really do approve about how the game keeps going when you're in the main menu, but there should be a pause button somewhere. And unfortunately the game doesn't keep going when you're... what was I going to say now? I'm so bad at this. The game doesn't keep going when you leave the screen. Like if I were to click a XSplit here in the corner and to stop recording, I could not do that. And just to let you know, I do have the membership for XSplit, which I'm paying like, I forget, 25 bucks a month. And that's the commercial membership, so I'm allowed to make money off of it. And the reason I decided to get that is that XSplit is very convenient for recording videos in 720p. It does take up a lot of processing power, and I could not do it if I wanted to create a high definition video, which I could with something like, what's it called now, the industry standard, Fraps. But it doesn't, I don't have to edit at all after I'm done. All the recording comes out nice and clean. So that's why I use XSplit for these videos at least. I also do for any emulated videos. Of course, I own all the games that I emulate. I just find it much more convenient to actually record using an emulator, because you can save state and you have a bunch of good things going on. So let's select everyone in the miner group, assign them to being off duty, and then go cut some more trees. Apparently they can't reach these 4 logs even though I evened out the terrain. But I don't mind. They've been pretty good so far. But if I don't do this, I'm going to run out of lumber pretty soon, and I need a lot more lumber than this. If I want a castle this big to have a floor, it's going to take a lot of lumber. Now I'm almost thinking I probably should have built the spire with like before I built all these pillars, but I really want the floor to actually function this time, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Now, if I really wanted to go all out cheaty face, I'd probably put a bunch more trees here and mine them, or even right next to the stockpiles here. And I may do that in the future, but it's not necessary as of yet. Since basically this prototype is building mode, I figured I might as well use all the building tools to kind of help me out. If it was an actual game mode like a versus, or possibly you versus the N versus the AI, I would probably not be using so many of the mod tools. There we go. So these are all down. Now I'll assign all 3 of these guys back to the lumber group, and they'll start transporting the wood. Now I should probably spawn a few more Bricktrons. I'll just do that right away. I'm going to turn down the volume for you guys here, because if you can actually hear these crickets, they're annoying as hell. So, spawn a few Bricktrons. Have to make sure that my pointer is actually green, so it's above the ground, so they don't just spawn and fall into the earth. I usually find that 5 is pretty ideal for a mine. So here's my 5 guys. I will now get out of debug mode, because I can't do anything else while in debug mode. Select all 5 of these guys, and assign them to the mining group. Oops. And assign them to the mining group. Now I just have to decide on a good location for my mine. I think possibly right about somewhere. Okay, so let's go like right here. There we go. That's a nice little mine. And now if I click again, that should confirm it, and all 5 of these guys should get right to work. Oh, I seem to... What's that? What is that? Screwed up. Okay, back to the building group. I have to get 1 brick on top of here, then I have to demolish this here. Sometimes things other than regular blocks don't work for demolishing mode. And sometimes absolutely nothing works for demolishing mode, and you just have to leave it there. But not this time, because I'm not letting that happen. Why can't I demolish you? Oh, there we go. Okay. So now somebody should be around to clear that up as soon as possible. So I'll deselect that. Sometimes if you demolish something and it demolishes itself, like it falls down because the brick below it's been demolished, you'll have like a permanent yellow square there. You can just get rid of that by right-clicking the square. And I'm almost done my skeleton. My jack skeleton. And as you can tell, my mine's working pretty fast here, my actual mine for stone. So fairly soon I should be able to build like the outer wall, then get up here to actually build the skeleton, which would be very nice. It'd be good progress for 1 episode. I'm hoping this is the right order to do this in. Oh, stretch. I'm thinking if I just build like a staircase and then a wall, the staircase that I'll demolish later, I can finish this whole skeleton this episode. So let's actually do that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. Da, 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 da. Okay. So let's just make sure this is built up the entire way. So I'll just have 1 wall completed. I'm not sure if this is going to horribly screw up my whole system later, but hopefully not. And I also hope that they're capable of building this. To me it seems like it should be possible, but you never know with Bricktrons. Sometimes they get a bit flustered. So this is one side of 1 floor of my castle, and it's all I really want up for now, because I really want to complete this skeleton before I cut the episode. Just to let you know, I do have some humorous content on my site, but usually that doesn't include my solo Let's Plays because on my own I'm not very good at joking around until I start telling stories. So if you want to check out something that I find very funny, check out like the Scott Pilgrim Let's Plays possibly, or any of the other Let's Plays that I co-commentate with Despic. Those are all a lot of fun. And again, if you have any recommendations for Let's Plays or things you want me to look at, especially shorter games, I'd be glad to do that. Old school games, newer games, any of those. Nice. So, only one more log to place and then they should be on to building this wall. Now, to be completely honest with you, I may actually cut once this wall is built. And this is going to be an entire playthrough series. Like, I'm not going to pause for you guys. I'm not going to time-lapse it. So you're going to be getting commentary from me the whole time. Well, that's unfortunate. So this is something that can happen to Bricktrons. Occasionally they just hold on to a log and you kind of have to like plonk it down somewhere. Oh, it looks like he's actually going to put it back, which is unusual and very nice. So he's moving on. Yeah. So now all my lumberjacks seem... Oh, one of them's stuck permanently. No, two of them are stuck permanently. Well, damn, I didn't see that coming. Okay, time to go into debug mode. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to die. I find that killing them is the only way to get rid of stuck Bricktrons, so... There we go. That should be 2 dead Bricktrons. Press delete to clear all the debris. Select something else, or else you will continuously explode things once you get out of debug mode. And yes, that is a common problem. So I am going to need some more lumberjacks, and I am going to spawn a forest. So let's go to options, debug mode again. You know, just to waste everyone's time by going in and out of debug mode constantly. And I will spawn an entire forest just like right here. As well as some Bricktrons because I just lost a couple. So this is a convenient little wood cutting tool. As you can see, it'll all be right next to my castle, right next to the stockpiles. And zoom up a bit, get a couple more Bricktrons. Now I'm going to also erase the lumber group, just because it will actually clear out the... See, now the dead Bricktron doesn't count as dead anymore. Oh, but I didn't select and deselect something. So that'll have to be the first tree that I destroy. And I may have just bugged out that Bricktron by selecting then deselecting the tree. No, I did not, so that's good. Sometimes if you select and deselect a tree, I haven't had this bug happen, but I've heard of it. A bug can happen where the tree becomes invincible and your Bricktron becomes stuck. So if that ever happens, basically just blow up the tree, blow up the Bricktron. They're useless. Get them out of there. So this is going to be my new forestry group once they're done cutting all this wood. Like I said, you kind of have to cut wood manually right now because the automatic doesn't work very well. So they appear to almost be done the wall, to be honest, so that's going pretty quickly. So this extra wood is something I will need fairly shortly. And they are filling up the stockpiles fast. You can always pause the miners, so don't worry about them going too fast. You might be wondering why I don't have the barrels. It's because I find the barrels actually fill too fast, and I prefer just to select when I have Bricktrons. Like I said, I wouldn't do that if this was the full game, if I was actually playing against an enemy or I was being attacked, because that would defeat the purpose. But in just this construction only mode, I might as well be spawning Bricktrons. There we go. So this should probably be enough trees for now, so I'm going to select this entire group just by control clicking and move them all over to Lumberjack. Now they should all fill up the stockpiles rather quickly. Really wish the miners wouldn't spread out their stuff so much. I'm actually going to take one person from the mining group and make him a construction guy. And one person from... No, not one person from the forestry group. I just want the mining group to slow down a tiny bit, because they seem to be using up a lot of resources. I really like the order in which they're building this wall. I am going to have to demolish this entire structure over here, but that shouldn't be too hard as long as I demolish from the bottom and then clear all the debris. That's just after I've built the skeleton. I'll always say skeleton for some reason, like Jack Skellington. It's too bad that Jack Skellington's kind of been stolen by all the scene kids. It was a big part of my childhood. Coffee. Hope you guys can't hear me drinking too much, because that'd be embarrassing. Anyways, the wall's almost done, so I might as well get started on assigning construction on the beams. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with a log, and I'm going to build all the way across first, just so they have like spaces to stand on. Now it becomes a lot easier if you adjust your view to be this way. There we go. Because then you can kind of see where you're positioning it. I've ended up wrongly positioning a lot of logs in my time so far with this game. And since I've done that, I've found fairly decent strategies. Now you might be wondering why I'm not dealing with the floating castle anymore. It was just too unstable. Bricktrons kept falling into the abyss. Now if I really want to, if I save this game and load it up, it will just become a floating castle. Which is why I'm doing all this recording in one sitting. And all today. I wonder how long I've been going on already. Didn't actually check the time when I had started. I'm going to try to cut episodes at about half an hour, although some of these might turn out a bit longer, like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And yes, I do realize I talk a lot about time in my videos. It's only because recently I came up with a couple of 10-minute long Earthbound videos when I've been trying to do like 20 minutes to half an hour. Just because Despic and I were really tired that night. We just recorded like 8 episodes in a row. So, just building the skeleton here. They should get started on that the second they're done with this wall. They're generally pretty good that way. Okay. Now the other thing you want is a log coming out from here. Might as well do all of these at once. Oh, what did I just do? No, don't want that. Ah, okay. Sometimes these are so hard to place. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that, but a while ago I had the actual music playing, which is a rarity in this game. I should have actually turned up the volume while that was happening. No, erase both of those. Okay. Something went wrong there for a little bit, but it seems to be all good now. I think I just need to be a bit closer to here before I can place them, and all done. Well, almost all done. Almost all done this one side. All done that one row right over there. In other words, I'm nowhere near done. Just thought I'd let you know that. Okay. So now in the other direction. What are you guys doing? Okay, so I have lazy Bricktron syndrome again. It is generally fixable. I think this time they're all just stuck on each other. They couldn't path properly. There we go. These 4 are all good. Ah, the problem is the stockpiles are currently full. So let's get all the miners here. They'll start mining again after the stockpiles are emptier, which should be pretty soon. Come on, pass it on. It's too early for you guys to be going lazy on me like this. So this seems to happen a lot, like super a lot. Now they should be clearing out some of the wood piles. And then everyone should start getting to work right... What? No! Put that down. Put that down. Okay, put it down right here. Seriously, just like right there. Okay, I should actually pause the lumberjacks for a bit because they're gonna just get into everyone's way. Well, actually, I'm gonna be placing wood for a while. I don't need to pause the lumberjacks. I'll erase that block some other time. Well, I should all be running up the stairs and placing the blocks kind of in order. And now that I've unfrozen everyone, I didn't even notice they were frozen for the longest time. It's time to start the construction in this direction. Now, one of the problems with the floor planks is if you put them on early, like before these are joined in the middle, they will not actually have any structural integrity, and the second a Bricktron steps on them, they will fall down. So don't be doing that. If anyone's using this as a tutorial anyways, I'm assuming most people don't actually own this game, as it is still early prototype, not even alpha. They claimed this was pre-alpha. So that's what we're currently working with here. Oh, I actually do not want these two bricks to exist, so better take those off right there. And you know, this is going surprisingly well so far. Maybe it's because I'm being so nice and ordered about what I'm doing. I'm gonna need a lot of wood though. A lot. That's what she said. Shut up. I'm mature, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if I like the passing off mechanic or not. I started out really enjoying it, but now it's just kind of like it gets in the way. It makes the Bricktrons work a bit less efficiently, I think. I should maybe... Are you who are you? You are a lumberjack. How about I take you and actually make you a builder? You have a log. Go on, get to it. There we go. Now I have more builders than lumberjacks. Hopefully that will turn into a case where I am not picking up wood as fast, or filling up the stockpiles as fast, I should say. Now it would be really nice if I could get these two stockpiles cleared. But I guess it doesn't really matter. The miners will start mining again once I start building walls. Now, it is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to... You know, I could actually incorporate these stairs into my design if I wanted to. Like, I could build another set on this end. And, yeah, how about I do that? I know how I built these. I started out by building 3 up right out here. Yeah, just incorporate them right into my design there. So when they're done with that, they'll move on to those stairs, and then I'll have a nice little front entrance for my castle that will look a bit weird, but maybe cool. Could work. I don't know, I've always been a crappy designer. Got really bad marks in design. Best thing I ever made was some glasses out of copper wire. They were awesome glasses though. Maybe at some point I'll post a picture of them. Anyways, I think this can wrap up the episode. You guys don't need to see any more of what is currently going on, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.